Hello there, this is Chris, and as promised, I have the review of Dex's Partizan harness versus the reel. For the entirety of this video, the reel will be pictured on the top and the left. So let's start off with the butt pack. Easiest place to show you with the start on the butt pack is the side pouches that are used for double grenades, SVD, whatever. They're very, very similar, as you can see. The reel is on the left, and the copy is on the right. The stitching is very similar, holds the same design, and the British snaps are pretty much identical in length, width, and stitching. The only difference, obviously, is the fade and the coloration. Dex's, my only big qualm with it is that it looks too new. And I'm probably going to go over all the straps and everything with some coffee. We're going to see how that turns out later. Moving on. Now, when we go inside of these pouches, we find some very, very good similarities. The retainers on the back are same length, size, width, height above the base, and the Velcro that removes, so you can either use this as an SVD or a double grenade, is same length, width, size, everything. One thing that you're going to see across the entire harness that you see in this photo very well is that all of the Velcro has been changed from that brown to a blue to avoid any copies being passed off as real. Moving on to the butt pack strap. This part impressed me a lot. As you can see on the top, the real one, the original buckles are textured, and the clips, the actual clip on the male clip, is a little bit longer than on the replica. Matt pointed out to me what the name of these clips were, and I completely spaced it, so Matt, if you could drop that down below so people can know. The replica clip is extremely close, same width, build quality, and durability. I will trust these clips until they give me a reason not to. Alright, I apologize on the photos for this one. These are not that easy to photograph unless you have a flash. Top is real, bottom is replica, as is the norm for this review. The top and the bottom both share almost identical build qualities. The reinforcements in the back and stitching are almost identical. The two pouches that you see in use, same width, diameter, length, everything. Beautiful example of Dex's work. And on the side pouches, on the real one, they have an open bottom, which is kind of annoying to me, but on the replica, they have an open bottom. The thing that amazes me at how well Dex does this is the fact that he never disassembles harnesses, to the best of my knowledge. He does this all from line of sight and looking at the harness as a whole, and he's able to transcribe that into something like this. That just blows me out of the water. Big shout out to you, Dex. Alright, moving on to the yoke. My biggest thing that I've heard so far is people asking me, how can you tell if the yoke is real versus the rest of the pack? Because the rest of the pack, the big indicator is no tags and no brown Velcro. It's all that darkish blue. So when you look at the yoke, the bottom one, and it looks a little deceiving right now, every dimension is the same. The mesh is the same, it's just on mine, it's a little more crumpled up, little boxy looking versus rectangular. So when you move on to what is real and what is not, the mesh is the same dimensions and all that, so that's good there. The real mesh is a tighter weave and a little bit more diamond shape. You can even see right now that the top one is closer together than the bottom one. You can see through the bottom one more, and the bottom one has a more circular weave to it. So that's good to know. Someone please correct me on this, because I have no idea. If you look at the angled strap underneath the mesh, the real one, the top strap goes right. The replica, the top one goes left. I don't know if that's actually an identifier, because we don't have enough yokes to compare that to right now, so please tell us if that's wrong or right. And on the drag handle, very important part on that, the real one has double stitching, and the bottom one has a singular line of stitching going across it. Once again, another indicator. Once again, just another quick little peek of the blue Velcro and the brown Velcro. Note on this one, the brown Velcro is not even anywhere close to the same because this is a PKM pouch versus an AK pouch. I just wanted to show you the coloration difference in better light and quality. Now that we're getting down and out of the elephants in the room, let's get down to the nitty-gritty stuff, some of the stuff that no one will ever see, but is nice to know. Top belt's real, bottom is fake, obviously, as stated before. The stitching is the same length away, all that, uses the same stitch pattern, and in the center, that crease looks like it's another line of stitching in the real belt, but it's not. It's just where the wear has bent it and kept the padding like that. So the inside of the belts are spot on. The only way you can really tell the difference between those is the fact that the real one has a tag, the fake one doesn't. Other than that, these belts could be entirely 100% passed for each other. And now we have the retainer buckles on the left side of the harness, and these are on the belt again. Now the big things you can see here in the differences on the belt is what shines through. The stitching holding in that retainer loop is entirely different and differently spaced than on the top one. This is the only identifier on the belt to know which is real, which is fake. Thank you, Dex, for thinking this shit through. Alright, now, this is the last detail that I'm going into because I think anything at this point is going to be a little monotonous and just repetitive. I could show you every single inch of stitching on this thing, but these are the big key points that I thought needed to be addressed. On the back, on the bottom of the pouches, once again, I know this probably differs between AK and PKM pouches, so please ignore all the stitching that is on the opposite material and look more on the straps, because you can obviously see on the top a lot more stitching coming through to sew the AK pouches onto the backing. The PKM pouch, there's none, because it's just the pouch sewn onto a backing board. But look at the reinforcement belt loops and Cordura straps. The stitching follows the same pattern across, same pattern all the way around, same dimension, same everything. Even on the parts that nobody will see, Dex made it true and stuck to how it is. So, all in all, I'd have to give Dex's Partizan harnesses a 9.5 out of 10. I say this because the only things that are wrong are the things that he changed so fakes could not be made. And it has basic, like any piece of Russian gear has, it has mess-ups on it. Everyone is going to be slightly different. So you can take that as a con, you can take that as a pro. I'm seeing it as a perfect mix. The quality is unsurpassed. The Avazant material, which he was so kind enough to send me a big swatch of it, is so close to the actual Avazant material that I feel like I don't even know what the argument is anymore with the Repro and the real one. At this point, in my opinion, it seems like the only reason you would get the real one is if you're an avid collector, you're like Matt, who just pays for the tags, or some other mix of any type of mentality that you have about it. If you want to rep hard, gotta get the real deal. But if you're like me, who really wants to rep hard but can't afford to drop $1,100 on a harness, this is a great choice for you. And everything is so affordable. I asked him what the cost of spare pieces would be, such as the belt, pouches, things like that. He can send you any part you need for pennies on the dollar. Like, I think it's going to be like $25 to send me another set of pouches, stuff like that. Dex, I know you're watching this, buddy. Huge shout out to you. Whatever you did it damn right. And this thing is going to stick with my team for a long time. Whether it becomes the loaner, the primary rig of the new guys, whatever it is, this thing is staying with us, and you have forever earned an entire team worth of customers, buddy.